Welcome all sports fans, YouTubers, Facebookers, all social media across the nation. Uneducated Network presents Uneducated Sports Talk, and I'm your host, Carlos Clayton. Today we have another great episode. We want to talk about the NBA season. They're letting us know who's playing what, not all of it, but the marquee games. We're talking the opening nights, and we're talking Christmas Day games. We're also going to talk about Carmelo trying to go back to the Rockets. Maybe that might start up. And then we have day 5 of our 32 for 32. We will feature the New York Jets. Next episode, we will feature the Los Angeles Rams. But this episode right here, we are talking about the New York Jets and what they got to do to get things right. But first off, let's talk NBA. And we all knew that Warriors, Cavaliers is going down. We all knew it. Part 3, Christmas once again. This time, the defending champs, the Golden State Warriors, will host the Cleveland Cavaliers on Christmas Day. That'll be the 3 o'clock Eastern time game. We all kind of knew that was going to happen again. 2 years ago, Warriors hosted. Last year, Cleveland hosted. This year, Warriors host once again. Christmas basketball is always a fun time. Now, think about that. It's a Monday. This Christmas is going to be on a Monday, so they're going to compete once again with the NFL that has a few games on their marquee schedule as well for Christmas. But with that being said, we all know it's going down. Whether Kyrie Irving is there or not, we shall find out later on in life. But that was an obvious pick. And then we have more games that's going on with that now. Also, to start it all off, Philadelphia, the Trust the Process kids, they will be having a game at New York in Madison Square Garden. So we will see whether Carmelo Anthony is there or not. There's talks about him going to Houston. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Then we have Washington at Boston, which is, I believe, the 5 o'clock, 5:30 game, something like that. We already know that rivalry is intense. The last 2 years, they've been putting shots on each other and talking about each other and flagrant fouls in the postseasons and, guys dressing in black, talking about we're going to a funeral, all that crazy stuff, man. So I love how these two teams have kind of made a rivalry out of pretty much nothing, to be honest, because they haven't really succeeded in the last couple of years. But this is now considered a rivalry. I don't like that. There we go. Yeah, that's all about us in a way. But anyways, and then the late night game, which is a sleeper. If Minnesota Timberwolves are who we are thinking they will be, this would be a good game against them in Los Angeles to end the night. Well, not end it, but that will be the night game. Los Angeles Lakers, Lonzo Ball coming in, it's going to be good. But I think the best game on the docket, because I don't think the Warriors and the Cavs will be that good. I think the Warriors will probably blow them out just because they're at home. But the best game on the docket is probably going to be the Houston Rockets, Chris Paul, CP3, James Harden, maybe a Carmelo Anthony, and they go to Oklahoma City to play a Russell Westbrook and a Paul George. That right there, yes, you have Warriors and Cavaliers, it's star-studded, but this particular game, Rockets and the Thunder, that's going to be amazing. I cannot wait to see that. That'll be primetime television, about the 8 o'clock game, I believe, 7:30, 8 o'clock Eastern time game. And I'm geeked up to watch that, so I'm ready for this Christmas. Christmas always brings the good games in. I was surprised that San Antonio wasn't on it, but when San Antonio plays on Christmas, they usually play an Eastern Conference team. The last couple years, it's been like some teams like Chicago, something like that. So San Antonio doesn't have a Christmas game for, it's been a long time since we've seen them not on Christmas. And Cleveland Warriors, that's going to be a good one as well. But I think the particular game, it might be a blowout. So I'm kind of like going back to what I'm saying, but it seems good on paper, and it always does. But you never know. So Christmas always brings it. And now let's talk about the opening week. Both teams, October 17th, the Warriors and the Cavaliers will both be playing on that opening night. And the ring ceremonies, the Warriors they will play against the Rockets. So you have CP3. And like I said, maybe Carmelo. We have James Harden will come into Golden State. And you have the ring ceremony. And that's going to be a high-scoring game. And I wish I lived in that area because I would definitely get tickets to watch that. I know it's going to be a crazy night. And then before that, the first game, we have the Boston Celtics, the revamped Boston Celtics, the Gordon Hayward added Boston Celtics, the Jason Tatum added Boston Celtics will be playing against LeBron James and maybe Kyrie Irving for the first night. So we have Boston at Cleveland. Then you have Houston at Golden State, and Golden State's gonna be opening up their brand new arena. So that's gonna be star-studded opening day. I cannot wait for that. And then, like I said, Christmas is gonna be amazing. I cannot wait to see the rest of the schedule because I'm only 2 hours away from Houston, so I go see a lot of Rockets games on a regular, and we'll check that out. So now. I want to talk about the Rockets. We were mentioning Carmelo Anthony going to the Rockets. Well, trade talk has just opened up once again for Carmelo and the Rockets. Now, Carmelo is saying at this point he is not going to waive his no trade clause unless the Rockets are the team he is going to. He needs a guarantee from the organization that he'll be traded to the Rockets. Rockets have a dilemma. You got Ryan Anderson's contract, 3 years, $60 million still left. Do the Knicks really want that contract? He is the main thing. So they're trying to add a third team to it. They believed 2-3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, that with a third team they can get the deal done. But Melo wants to leave. I think the Knicks are ready for Melo to leave, even though they have no worries about it. They have no problem making him stay. They don't have a problem with that. Because Melo loves New York. This is his hometown. So he doesn't mind staying if the Knicks want to keep him. But at the same time, when you feel like someone doesn't want you because there's a lot of Knicks supporters, but there's also guys like me and a lot of guys in New York saying that Carmelo has to go. We got to get better if you're a Knicks fan. We got to get better. We can get rid of Carmelo, get some draft picks, get a couple players in. Let's go. Start it all over. He might be hurting guys like Kristaps Porzingis. He might be hurting guys like Tim Hardaway Jr., hurt the development, the growth. So why have him there when he still feels like he's the star? He'll probably take shots away from those young guys, those young bucks who need the opportunity to play on the court and feel like they are a part of a team. So I'm very interested. But if Carmelo does go to Houston, yes, the West is already crazy, but now this is a whole new ball game. The Warriors are still the best team. Let's get that straight. But you add a Houston team, and they can probably put up a game or two against the Warriors just because of their offense. Now, we all know that's going to be the no defense zone because Chris Paul is the best defender on that team, and he's up in age now. He was a little pit bull. He's a pit bull. Now he's a little pit bull just because of his age factor. If he had Chris Paul 5 years ago, yes, he would have made up for the lack of James Harden and Carmelo Anthony's defense. But with them still being in the system of Mike D'Antoni, it's offense, if Carmelo's there. So they have a chance to be the third or second best team. But they were the third best team last year. So I don't see them being better than San Antonio, and I don't see them being better than Golden State. So do or you don't. If you're the Knicks, comment what the Knicks should do with Carmelo. Should they get rid of him? Let me know about that. And how do you feel about the Christmas games and the opening weekend opening games for the NBA? Do you love it? Who do you want to see that's not on the Christmas game? Who do you think deserves to be on the Christmas game? San Antonio is not on that, so they're giving them a break. But who do you want to see on Christmas? Now, for all you New York Jets, Jets fans, this is for you. This is day 5 of our 32 for 32 NFL teams in 32 days, and we're talking about the New York Jets and what comes with that territory. Here we go. So Coach Todd Bowles has a lot to do because on paper, this team is the worst team in football. And you thought Chicago had it bad. The Jets have a long road to climb. But one thing I do like about the Jets, they drafted well. They got their needs in. They got safety needs. They have wide receiver needs. But my only problem is when about, I'm probably saying 70% of the team's contributions going to come from first and second year players. We have a problem in New York. There's a big problem. And then we get word a couple days ago, Quincy Enunwa, he hurt his neck and he might be out for the season. He was their best receiver on the roster. So now you're like, oh my God, it goes from bad to worse. This team was already bad. Now they're just horrible looking. I still give them a record of 3-13, better than the Chicago Bears. I got the Bears at 2-14. I get the Jets 3-13. But only problem is they have no players at all. They have no depth. Quarterback issues going on. We have Bryce Petty and then we have Josh McCown, who are looking like they might be 1 or 2. Christian Hackenberg has had his issues going on in this training camp. It was just said a couple days ago where he was chewed out by the offensive coordinator for not doing the huddle right, not being aggressive in the huddle, kicked him out, that kind of stuff. And you don't need that kind of stuff from your quarterbacks. If your quarterbacks aren't even excited in the huddle to get the attention of the fellas, then you're going to have a long season. But I think Josh McCown might be the opening day starter just because it's veteran presence. And then Bryce Petty, you never know. It all depends on preseason. This is one of the few incidents where quarterback play will be decided by the preseason. And you like that because it brings out competition. But you know that Christian Hackenberg, who probably has the most talent out of the 3 quarterbacks, but just doesn't have it in here. And 59% for your whole entire career. I read an article where he threw 59% or less in college, in the NFL, and then in high school. How you do that in high school? But so he's got a lot of work to do, man. This team by itself has a lot of work to do, but they drafted well. Unlike the Chicago Bears, in my opinion, I think the Jets drafted well. And they're saying, you know what? There's a lot of talented quarterbacks coming out within the next year. So we don't want to just go ahead and just get one of those quarterbacks in 2017 draft. Let's wait till the 18 draft to get our needs together. And I understand that. When you're bad, you're bad. I feel bad for Tabo because this might be his last year, even though the team freaking sucks. The team sucks. And he's got to be the one to get fired over that. And I'm not saying he's going to get fired because things happen. This team might surprise us and go 8-8, or 7-9. You never know. But once again, the AFC East is just horrible. Everyone, I love the Patriots and how they're a model of success. But they've been this good because the division has been that bad. Can you remember the last time the Bills made it to the playoffs? The Dolphins made it to they made it last year. But besides that, the Dolphins hadn't made it to the playoffs before that in 7-8 years. And then the Jets probably made it three times in the last decade. So the AFC East, outside of the Patriots, it's the worst division in football because they cannot get it together or sustain any kind of level of competition. So the Patriots, that's 6 games where you automatically go 5-1 in those 6 games. So that kind of helps them out with the no competition in their own division. Now, the Jets have their quarterback issues. We talked about that. But then they drafted very well. So first round, they get a surprise at number 6, Jamal Adams, who I consider the best prospect in the draft. Not basically, the best player for certain teams, but as just player overall, I think he was the best prospect in the draft. And he dropped to number 6 when he should have went to Chicago at number 3. But he dropped to number 6. And the Jets got steal. I think he's the best player in the draft. And then they went ahead next round and got Marcus May, basically the same position, safety, out of Florida. So right there, you went from the weakest safety group last year to probably having a dynamic group. But here we go. They're still rookies. You can't depend on rookies to win you games, especially when, like I said, 70 to 75% of your, from your yards or your yard stoppage is coming from rookies. And you can't trust that. So that's how you know it's going to be bad. And in the third round, they got a Darius Stewart, wide receiver from Alabama. So that was nice for them. He's very sure-handed. He doesn't drop a lot of balls. He's not the fastest. I think he's around a 4.5 and a 40. He's not the fastest guy, but he won't drop any passes. So very sure-handed. And in the 5th round, they get Jordan Leggett from Clemson, a tight end, who like I said, is very sure-handed as well. He caught a lot of big passes from Deshaun Watson in their seasons, 2 seasons together. So very excited to see about the young group they got coming up, because they're only going to get better. And when you have a team this bad on paper and your best players are 1- and 2-year players, you're going to stink. And here's the worst part. They play the NFC South, the Saints, Falcons, Panthers, Buccaneers. All those teams will probably wipe them out. Then they play against the AFC West, which is even worse when you have Oakland, you have Denver, Kansas City, and then the Chargers might be the least competition. The Bucks or the Saints might be the least competition, and those teams can still put up numbers on you anytime. So that being said, it's gonna be tough for the Jets. We will see how they do. Today marks the actual first day of preseason where more than just one team plays. Yesterday we had the Carolina Panthers squared off against the Carolina Panthers the Houston Texans. I don't know why I missed on that. We had Deshaun Watson versus Christian McCaffrey in that. Check me out on Twitter. I will give my thoughts about those two guys on Twitter. It's at Carlos Clayton _. At Carlos Clayton _ I will talk about who I think will be the better prospect in the next up and coming years. Just cause. So that game went good. So now we'll see. That's why I got my Saints gear on, my old Reggie Bush. I'm ready to see the Saints take on the Browns. Hopefully we do good. It's preseason, game number 1. So that being said, I give the Jets 3-13. They're horrible on paper, even worse than the Bears. They need all kind of help. They're desperate, but like I said, though, they drafted well, so the future is bright. They have an understanding of what they want to do. And like I always say, you start off with the defense, let your offense do the rest of the talking, man, because that's how you do it. You don't start off with offense first and have a crazy, sorry defense. You start off with the defense and you're trying to rebuild. And the Jets are starting to rebuild. We will talk about the LA Rams in the next episode, which will be number 6 of the 32 for 32. And I cannot freaking wait because it's going to be awesome, man. And the Rams, they need a lot of help too. Let's not be shabby on them. They need a lot of help. But being in LA doesn't hurt either. So, check us out, please. Like, subscribe to Uneducated Network, where you can see my show, Uneducated Sports Talk. You can check out Based on Balls, hosted by Brian Wilkinson. You can check out So You Think You Know Sports, hosted by Craig Turtle Jones. In the Paint with Red, hosted by Devontae Roan, a.k.a. Red. We have Uneducated Star Wars Talk, hosted by Chris Lambert. We have Uneducated Heroes Talk, hosted by Chris Batiste. We got all kind of stuff going on. Like I said, brand new shows will be coming out pretty soon as well. Check that out, man. Struggle and Overcome by Darius Clayton. So it's going down. I'm excited about this. Subscribe if you haven't. Please do. Give us a like. Give us a comment. Like I said, how do you feel about the New York Jets? If you're a Jets fan, be patient. Let me know your comments on your team. How you think you guys will fare in the 2017-18 year, man. So check me out on Twitter. My name is Carlos Clayton. Hit me up at Carlos Clayton _. Check me out on Facebook. Carlos Clayton. I'm from Lake Charles, Louisiana. So this is Uneducated Network presenting Uneducated Sports Talk, and I'm your host, Carlos Clayton. And as always, sports fans, stay smart, stay uneducated. Peace.